So in today's video, I wanted to go over and discuss all of the monsters in Monster Hunter Rise and go through and rank them on a tier list. If you've watched my pre-release Monster Hunter Rise tier list video, you'll notice I now have 7 different scales on this tier list, and that's just to separate certain monsters that I feel are more deserving of a certain rating or whatever it may be. There are timestamps down in the description if you want to see certain monsters from update 1.0, 2.0, or 3.0, and there's a section for all the apexes as well. So with that said, let's get into this tier list. The first monster we'll be starting off with is the Great Izuchi. And now, the Great Izuchi, I know some people are going to put this straight down on the lower ends of the tier list, simply because it is an early starting monster, but for me, that's not really what makes a monster. It's more their design, personality, and how enjoyable their fight is. And for a starting monster, I think Great Izuchi is probably the best one. And I'm gonna put him in S tier, straight up. I like the design. I think the fight is very good for a starting monster. Doesn't have too many attacks, but the tail sweep it does. This is great to teach players who are just getting into Monster Hunter, of course. But also, Wyvern riding Great Izuchi is really fun, doing the tail sweep attack that it does. And the personality of Great Izuchi is just great. And it does, actually, you can catch an animation where it is playing with the little Izuchis. And I thought that was just really great. Next up, we have the Great Baggy. And similarly to Great Izuchi for me, I just like the monster, the design, the personality. It's just a really cool design for me. I really like the design. The fight is, of course, lower tiered. There's not too much going on, but I do like the monster. Great Rogi, on the other hand, I feel like this one is the one people like most out of any of these. Like the armor's good, design-wise. But, I don't know. I don't really care for Great Rogi. I will say the Palico armor is really cool. But, I don't know. It's just an early game poison monster. Arzros. Regular Arzros will also go into C tier for me. I do like the little icon though. It's pretty cute. The fight. It's again, one of those early game monsters that I don't really find the design or personality great, so I can't even put it up higher. But it's okay. I don't dislike Arzos, but I don't enjoy it. Same with Legambi. Yeah, very similar to Arzos, of course, since it has the same skeleton. But the attacks Legambi does get, I do like. Slides around, the Frost Islands and throws the snowballs. It's a cool monster, but I don't think I can put it up into B tier. We'll just say it's a very high C tier for now. Now, ever since I saw Aknesam in the first Monster Hunter Rise trailer that we got back in September of 2020, I like the design. I'm gonna put it in S+. Thing is about Aknesam is personality. The fights okay for being a early game monster. I do hope we get like a hyper system where we get some of these early game monsters up in difficulty. That would be cool, I think. But Aknesam, ever since I saw it, I liked it, and the personality of the monster is what makes me put it up in S+ tier. Also, the armor design and the weapons look really cool too. So yeah. Tetrandon, put in B tier. The armor weapons, I already said I didn't really care for. But the fight I think was good. I don't like Wyvern riding it though, but I think it's a solid B tier monster. I think all of the new monsters in Rise are just fantastic. There's not one I dislike. They're all good additions, and I think Tetrandon is solid. but compared to some other monsters that are on this list, he falls a bit short. Kezu, my friend. Kezu's gonna go in the F tier. Like, the whole theme gimmick, you know, no music, it gets kind of old after the first time you do it. Like, it's not funny, nor is it enjoyable, I'm gonna be real. The fight is just so slow, and it's just an HP sponge, honestly. I didn't enjoy it. It's not hard or difficult, like, its attacks don't do that much damage. It's just a tanky thing that moves like every 5 seconds occasionally. Kezu, yeah. And the design and armor and weapons I don't like either, so yeah, Kezu's an F tier. Barroth though, I like Barroth. Barroth's just a solid monster. He's fun. His little choo-choo train thing that he does, I like him. Yeah, it's also fun to wyvern ride. Yeah, I just enjoyed Barroth's fight in Rise, especially in the Sandy Plains. He's a fun monster. He's a fun monster to fight in the Sandy Plains. Royal Ludroth. I don't dislike Royal Ludroth, nor do I. Royal Ludroth is a low B tier monster. I don't feel like putting him in with Great Rogi and Arzos and Lagambi though. That's the thing. I like him a bit more than that. So we'll put him in B tier as well to Trandon. Royal Ludroth's design wise, I think it's pretty cool. Armor and weapons are different than the other monsters, which is nice. Yeah, I don't have too much to say about Royal Ludroth. Just a good fight. Just a good fight. So up next we have Kuyaku, and man, I like Kuyaku more than Arzos, Lagambi, and Great Rogi, but I don't know if I can put it in with Royal Ludroth and Tetrandon. That's the thing. We'll put it in C tier for now. I can change it later, but it's definitely a higher C tier. It's definitely high C. Dang, I like Kuyaku's personality. The armor, weapons, or whatever. The design's cool too. But the fight is just whatever. Yeah, I'll leave Kuyaku in C for now. But I can change it later. Puke. Let's see. I never really cared for Puke to be honest. Or a lot of the early world monsters. And Puke, I don't know. In Rise, he's okay, I guess. I don't dislike him, but design, Armor is okay, actually, though. Looks alright. The weapons, of course, are slap-on stuff, you know. It is what it is. But, yeah, Puke, not very memorable outside of its colorful design. Gyarados, I don't know who at Capcom thought it was a good idea to make Gyarados high rank exclusive and find like after Magnamalo and all these other monsters. But yeah, Gyarados F tier. They did change him up a bit, but it's Gyarados. I mean, the design, just on a straight up say it, awful. Armor, weapons, I think are okay. I'd say Kezu stuff looks better. Yeah, Gyarados design is just awful. The fight isn't fun for me. I know some people think the fight is now fun, but I'm just like, it didn't change that much to make it a completely different fight, you know? Like, if you enjoyed the fight in Rise, I feel like you were, you know, you thought the fight was okay in World. I didn't really care for Gyarados at all in World. And in Rise, I feel no different to him. And also, kind of a progression issue that I have with Rise. Gyarados after, say, Magnamalo, Tigrex, and Diablos. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Best Shot 10 though, Best Shot 10's a solid B tier, I think. The fight's cool, very unique with the full fruit mechanic that, you know, throws fruits and then when you knock it out, you can pick up its fruits and use it against it. I think Bishop 10's a solid new entry into the Monster Hunter series. Also, the armored weapons pretty cool too. Yeah, Bishop 10's a solid B tier monster in my opinion. Now Barioth, I don't know. B tier. Barioth is I think he isn't as bad in Rise as compared to like Iceborne, where I thought he was much more annoying. But in Rise, I don't know. Still mixed on him. The weapons and armor I think are, yeah, they're not that great. Design wise, Barioth is okay. I mean, I never found its design that interesting. And then again, I'm not really crazy into saber-tooths and stuff like that. Yeah. Barioth, I don't think the hip check that he does and his jumping attack that he'll do. Nah, I just didn't enjoy him honestly. Nor would I put him like in C tier with like Puke Puke or Kuyaku. But Sarios I actually did like, and I'll put him up in A tier. Design I think is pretty good. The armored weapons, they're okay. But the design I do enjoy. I like the mechanic that they put where if it warms up its body, you'll be able to, that will be its like weak spot and you can do more damage. I thought its attacks were pretty interesting, like the flamethrower one that'll do. It also has poison and sleep that it'll exhaust. But yeah, I think Sarius is a solid A for me. Rathian, I'll be honest, dude. Rathian, D tier. I don't know. I've always never liked Rathian that much. I always thought Rathos was much better, and this is another. Rise just confirms that for me, basically. Because Rathian, design-wise, the green, but the fight was just so mediocre, I guess. It just kind of bashes you and lunges at you, and then occasionally it'll do its like poison tail thing it does, where it goes in the air and just swings at you. So yeah. Rathian's okay. I mean, but I don't enjoy going out to fight it though. Whereas I would say the C tier monsters I do. Rathian I don't enjoy. Somnicanth, I absolutely love Somnicanth. Somnicanth is one of those easier monsters, I would say. But design-wise and personality-wise, I really like Somnicanth, and the armor and weapons do look cool. I wish I had a switch axe, but it is what it is. Somnicanth is a great addition to the Monster Hunter series. I hope that, you know, we get like a more difficult version, say in the expansion, or like a hyper system, whatever it may be. Because I do like Somnicanth's fight, it just needs to hit harder, honestly. Topikadachi. Again, those whole early world monsters, I just don't really find them that interesting. Especially Topikadachi's color palette. I feel like the I don't know, maybe more blue. It's just, Topikadachi feels boring for me. The fight is better in Rise, I will say that. Especially now that's not in the ancient forest. Yeah, the fight in Rise is way better, and also Wyvern riding it. Topikadachi's Wyvern riding is pretty good, with the whole back A where you just slam monsters with the tail. It gives them Thunderblight or whatever. Yeah, Topikadachi's solid C tier monster. I would say it's up there with Koyaku though. But yeah, I don't think I could put it up in B tier. Volvodon's another C tier monster for me. the whole mechanic where you can't use items or whatever outside of the one thing that gets rid of the status ailment is interesting. It's definitely unique from any other monster here, but it's okay. Again, it's an Arzuros skeleton. Whatever. I do think the armor and weapons look good though. Volvodon isn't too memorable enough for me to like put up in B tier, I would say. Volvodon. I will say the fight is a little bit more enjoyable than some of these others on the list. But yeah, I don't know. Volvodon kind of just doesn't. I'm just not really that big of a fan of Volvodon. Anyways, we'll get on to now we have like a bunch of the higher tier monsters. First up is Anjanath. And Anjanath I quite like. Not for me to put him up in S tier and Rise. I really dig this icon that they gave him though. The icon looks really nice. But yeah, Anjanath, I liked Anjanath in the world. He was one of the few like new world monsters that I was like, yeah, I dig this. And yeah, Anjanath's pretty solid. I do think in Rise he is more enraged which is great because the enraged design looks cool. I think that's, you know, the regular design, The armored weapons do look cool. The rampage bow, or not the rampage bow, the Anjanath bow looks nice. The Anjanath switch X, whatever though. Yeah, Anjanath's just a solid S tier monster. The fight's pretty enjoyable. You can also knock it out quite a bit in Rise. But yeah, enjoyable fight. I do like Anjanath's design and whatnot. Mizutsune. Here's the thing. I like Apex Mizutsune more. Regular Mizutsune, I feel like I kind of got burnt out with it in the demo for Rise. We'll put up in A tier. I do like Mizutsune. The design, the armor looks cool. But yeah, it's not. I don't know. I just don't think it's. I don't like Mizutsune as much as other people do. Loudness is my boy, of course. I'm out of the Faded 4. But it's not even about that. It's just Mizutsune, regular Mizutsune is okay. I think maybe if it was like in G rank or Master rank, whatever, I might like it a bit more. Because it's a fairly aggressive monster, but I kind of just got used to it from the demo, I think. Next up we have Rathalos, and Rathalos and Rathalos is just a solid B tier monster. Design, I always liked Rathalos' design. Armor and weapons are okay. But yeah, the new attacks that they gave Rathalos are pretty good. When it gets up in the sky and does that like flamethrower thing, it's pretty cool. But I think I enjoyed. No, I didn't even enjoy Apex Rathalos a bit more. It's cool on the Rampage though, but we'll get to that later. Regular Rathalos, yeah, just leave it in B tier. It's okay, but I would say it's definitely more enjoyable than Volvodon or the Gombi. Nargacuga, A tier. Nargacuga's fight in Rise is solid. There isn't too much to say about Nargacuga in Rise. I mean, its weapons are meta though. Probably still are. Some of them at least. But yeah. Nargacuga is just a solid A tier monster. I always liked its design, and the fight is pretty good. Zinogre is an easy S+ for me. Probably like one of the most difficult fights in base game Rise too. Zinogre, design wise, and the theme I always liked. The armor and weapons too look pretty cool. But yeah, Zinogre's fight in Rise is really good. Where it can get up with his forelegs and just slam down and track the player when they're up in the air. Zinogre is a pretty good fight in Rise. Yeah, he's one of the few that can actually counter the wire bug fairly well. And yeah, Zinogre's just a fun fight overall. So now we're getting up into like 7-star monsters, and the first one we have here is Almudron. Almudron, I'm gonna be honest, Almudron kind of disappointed me in terms of its fight. Design wise, I like it. I think the armored weapons don't fit it that well, but they are cool. Yeah, I don't know. The fight for me just kind of brings it down a beat here. The fight is not that great. The only thing carrying Almudron for me really is just that design. Yeah, I was definitely disappointed with Almudron's fight. But the design I still do like. I just wish it was a better experience. Maybe if we get a variant of it and say an expansion for Rise, maybe I'll like that one a bit more. But as of now, regular Almudron, B tier. Diablos, B tier. I actually like Diablos way more in Rise than I did like previous game World. Diablos is just more enjoyable, I feel. I don't know whether it's just me getting to fight it a bit more because I didn't really care for it in World. I don't know. I just enjoyed Diablos more in Rise. I don't have too much to say outside of that. Gotsarag. S tier. Really good design. I like when it gets enraged and it has the frost blades in its arms and face turn red. Very cool, like contrast between the blues and reds. And yeah, Gotsarag's fight is just, it's a more difficult one, but not too hard. And I think Goss is just a fairly cool addition. Yeah, the armored weapons look pretty good. Like I said, the ice blades that it gets, I think it's a really good mechanic. I think Goss is definitely one of the more interesting monsters in this roster. Tigrex. If you've seen my previous tier list video that I made back in March, a couple days before the game came out, you know I put Tigrex right next to Barioth. We'll put up in C tier. Tigrex I enjoy a bit more in Rise. I wouldn't say enjoy, I'm more like I can tolerate him. I can't. I'm not a fan of the brute strength whole gimmick that Tigrex has. I enjoy it in Diablos way more. Diablos just feels way better when it comes to that raw strength kind of style, I guess you could say. Tigrex, I don't know. The design's okay actually, and the armored weapons look alright. Well, actually no, the armor is shit. The armor looks like garbage, but I think the weapons look okay. Yeah, man. Tigrex's fight in Rise, I think, is only made more enjoyable because we have the wire bug. At least for me, anyways. Raknakadaki, I don't even know why Raknakadaki is a 7-star monster. It's like one of the easiest fights, I think. Along with like Somnicanth. Like, it's pretty easy. But I do like Raknakadaki. I think they solid fight. The web mechanic is interesting, but it doesn't do it that often. You kind of don't get stuck in it, so it's whatever. I wish it did more things with like the little Raknoids, whatever they're called, little Raknakadakis. But yeah, that's a solid A tier monster. I think a variant of it would be cool to see. See it get to do more things, I guess. But yeah, Raknakadaki's a solid A tier monster. Alright, here we go. Magnamalo. I mean, is there really any question? Magnamalo's fight is just amazing. It's one of the most aggressive, just overall flashy, fun fights in the game. And its armor, the weapons look really cool. Magnamalo is just a great flagship. Although, if I were to say anything about Magnum. It's the way they introduced him in Rise and put him in the story, and then kind of just discard them. However, they did bring him back for the Narwa the All-Mother fight, which we'll get to that as well. And that was cool seeing Magnum appear in the final boss fight and you being able to wyvern ride him. That was pretty good. But in the terms of village, I don't know. I feel like they kind of just introduced him and like forgot about him until like the final boss fight. But even then, Magnum will get replaced by Kushala Daora and Teostra if you haven't done it. If this isn't your first time doing it. So, yeah, whatever. But yeah, Magnum amazing fight. Everything about it I love. The theme's pretty good. Magnum is just a amazing monster. I wonder if we're going to be able to see like a variant of it in the future. Pretty sure we will. Or in like an Apex version. But yeah, Magnum is just fantastic. It's definitely one of my favorite monsters now, without a doubt. Now, I know some people don't like Rajang and Rise, but for me, I'm putting an A tier. Rajang is a fairly difficult fight still. You know, he does hit hard, I guess, but he just has more openings. I think that's one of the things that makes me enjoy this fight a bit more. Is, yeah, I did not enjoy the fight in Iceborne, where it was just annoying to fight. It wasn't fun difficulty. It was just annoying. Yeah, I actually find myself going out just to hunt Rajang because I do like him and he is a decent challenge. He just has more openings and I find that to be more enjoyable, especially as I play the Switch Axe. A more slower weapon, I would say. Rajang's openings I feel are pretty good, at least for me. But yeah, I think Rajang's a solid A tier monster. Now we have the base forms of the two serpents, Wind Serpent and Bushi. S+. The first time you do that rampage quest, I really enjoyed it. Seeing a Bushi come down, just go through the stronghold, and that theme is just fantastic. It's still one of my favorite themes. However, has been topped. Ibushi's fight I think is really good. I think we should get an event quest with it or something where we can actually just take it on rather than a weakened state. Because in the Narwa All-Mother fight, it's weakened quite a bit. It only takes like a couple minutes to actually get down, even your first time. But after that, you'll go through it really quick. But yeah, that first time going through the rampage quest is just such a memorable experience for me, and Bushi is definitely an S+ for me. Narwa, base form of Narwa, I'm gonna say S tier. I didn't like this version of Narwa as much as Ibushi, but I thought it was pretty good too. The Coral Palace fight was really well done. They can lift up the rocks, you get the ballistas, machine cannons. Very nice implementation of like the rampage mechanics. And I thought, yeah, Narwa was pretty good fight, and I'm gonna leave it at S tier. And here are the 2.0 update monsters, starting off with Basil Juice. Basil Juice, I really dig Basil Juice in Rise. Of course, Basil Juice is one of my favorite monsters in general. The theme in Rise is really good. Yeah, Basil Juice, just a fantastic fight. The armor, the weapons. I think, well, the weapons are the slap-ons, but they also changed it to bone instead of like the Defender Iron look, which I question. But yeah, the weapons, at least the Switch Axe with Basil Juice is pretty good too. But yeah, Basil Juice, I just love Basil Juice. It's my most hunted monster in Rise as of now, I think. Yeah, Basil Juice has always been one of my favorites, and I really like him in Rise. first Elder Dragon of the trio, Chameleos S tier. I really did Chameleos' fight. Kind of just slams and vomits up its poison. And the personality of Chameleos in design is always really solid. I think they should have had Chameleos take away all your pollen instead of just like one little spear bird's worth. I think that would have made the Chameleos fight a bit more interesting rather than just like one spear bird. Like 10 stamina, like that, you know. But yeah, Chameleos I think is really good in Rise. The weapons look cool, so do the armor. And yeah, Chameleos is solid S tier. Kishal, originally, actually, if this was say World or Iceborne, I'd put Kishal like in D tier. But I have been finding it a bit more in Rise. I would have ranked it higher, but I'm gonna say B. Kishal's theme in Rise I think is really good, and finding the Frost Islands is fun. Standing Plains is whatever, but yeah, I really like Kishal's fight in Rise. It's a pretty good rendition of it. Especially with like the new particle effects that it has, look really good. The special wind thing it does where it sucks players in and does this like big giant tornado. Looks really cool. Yeah, it's just an enjoyable fight. I did enjoy it a bit more like when I first fought it, but doing repeats fights of it, got a little repetitive, I feel. So that's why I put it in B tier instead of like A tier. Teostra, I'm gonna put it with Kushala in B tier. Teostra is cool. The design I'm okay with. I didn't really care for it, but it's growing on me. Yeah, the armor looks dumb. I think the armor looks dumb, especially if the hunter. Falco and Palamute ones are too, I think. Weapons or whatever. But yeah, the actual fight itself I do think is pretty solid. It's Supernova. I've seen cart players several times, and the blast powder effects that it has look really good. I think Teostra is a solid fight in Rise. And yeah, I don't really have any complaints about him. I just enjoy some of these other monsters more. Now, here we have the Apexes. Apex Arzuros, man, B or A? I want to say, shoot. You know what? I'm gonna say A. I actually really dig Apex Arzuros. The fights, you know, Apex Arzuros will actually hit hard. The sweep attack that does, and I've gone I mean switch X, so I've gone attached to it, and my health will just go down like a second when it does that sweeping attack. But yeah, I think Apex Arzuros is a pretty good fight outside of the Rampage, and its entrance in the Rampage is pretty fun though. But yeah, Apex Arzuros is pretty good, especially the event quest in the Flood Forest. I really dug that. Now, Apex Rathian. At first, I would have put it up more, but after I did it again, I don't know. It's Rathian, but more purple. And it has a giant, it does venom damage now. So, it's better than the regular Rathian, but I'm still mixed on it. Yeah, I think C tier is solid. I don't say I would like to go out and fight it randomly. It's one of those monsters where it's like, okay, I fought you. I don't know if I need to go back to you, especially since there's no armor or weapons for Apexes. Like, I don't have a reason to go fight Apex Rathian. Apex Mizutsune S+. The design, color-wise, I think is really good. The reds and blue look fantastic. I really enjoy the new moves Apex Mizutsune has. fighting the Frost Islands is really enjoyable experience. Yeah, I dig Apex Mizutsune. I would say it's actually one of the more difficult Apexes. I definitely think it is harder than Apex Rathalos, which Apex Rathalos, it's cool on the Rampage because it does like multiples of those like fire explosion attacks where it'll destroy like a bunch of installations or whatever. But I think fighting him outside, he was kind of disappointing. Like he does one of those occasionally, like once per a hunt. But yeah, I don't know. I think he feels very similar to Rathalos, where the other Apexes feel quite different. I feel like, yeah, that's the big thing I think, is that he just feels way too similar to regular Rathalos. And I'm gonna keep him in B tier along with the regular Rathalos. I will say the design I do like though, like the torn out eyes and the wings look pretty cool. Apex Diablos S+. Apex Diablos is just a super fun fight in Rise. Charging, I really dig the charging it does, even though I don't like charging monsters really. I really dug that when it pops out of the ground. Very fun, I think, fight, especially online with other people. Yeah, Apex Diablos is really good. The designs also, the color scheme for Apex Diablos I think is pretty neat. Yeah, man, Apex Diablos, just fantastic fight. It is one of the more difficult monsters. It will definitely dish out some damage, and it's definitely carded me and my friends a couple times. Apex is an ogre. Do I like him as much as regular Zinogre? You know what? Screw it. We'll put him up in S+. Apex Zinogre is just Zinogre, but like way more aggressive and like on crack cocaine. Because Apex Zinogre, I would say honestly, like the first time fighting him, he's probably the hardest fight in Rise. The lightning flash that'll do, where like it'll charge up. Well, it's already charged up, but it'll supercharge up and like lightning will come out of it. Just really flashy fight. Probably the flashiest outside like the serpents. Yeah, I dig Apex Zinogre's design, and it's a fun fight, but it definitely kicked my ass the first time I did it. Next we have Narwa the All-Mother, the final boss of Monster Hunter Rise. Easy S+. Narwa the All-Mother is a fantastic fight, and just fantastic fight, amazing final boss. Capcom, each and every, they delivered on this fight. The theme for Narwa the All-Mother is my favorite theme for Monster Hunter, and I would say it's probably up there one of my favorite final bosses. Narwa the All-Mother is just super fun, super flashy. Narwa the All-Mother will actually dish out some damage, and you do, like I said previously, Magnemald will appear in your first go with Narwa the All-Mother, whereas in other attempts Kushal or Teostra can appear. But yeah, Narwa the All-Mother straight kills Ibushi to get to the All-Mother status. And yeah, I think it was just a really good fight. It kind of subverted expectations, because I was thinking going into it we'd get like an Ibushi and Narwa duo fight, but no, Narwa just straight up kills Ibushi and becomes the All-Mother. And I think design wise too, the color scheme, the blues with the yellows and pinks, oh, it looks really cool. And just, yeah, man, the setting for the fight too is really interesting. The Dragonator attack that'll do, where it has summons Dragonators and spins them around you. That is really fun to see who gets pummeled by it, and you know, who makes it to mill, who can actually dish out damage, because otherwise those Dragonators will beat you up. Yeah, Narwhal the All-Mother is probably, let's say probably like my favorite fight in Rise as of now. Of course, we may get some monsters in the future, but yeah, Narwhal the All-Mother, amazing boss. They delivered on that. The theme too, I mentioned previously, fantastic. I think we probably should have gotten its own armor set though, because there's a whole upgrading gimmick with Ibushi and Narwhal's armor set you can do with like the origin scales and origin parts. But yeah, man, Narwhal the All-Mother, freaking fantastic. Crimson Glow Valstrax, another S+ monster for me. Valstrax was already an S+ monster for me, but Crimson Glow is just even cooler. I think the design, the colors, the vivid reds that has glowing throughout its body look super nice. The armor and weapon designs are great. The theme for Valstrax in Rise I think is pretty good and is up there with the regular one. Yeah, Crimson Glow Valstrax has a amazing intro, probably the best one actually. It's just Crimson Glow Valstrax is such a cool fight in Rise, and its attacks where it has like the Shard-ish Valda kind of like beam thing it'll do with its wings, that looks really cool, and it actually will like one hit KO unless you have like 550 defense, which is just awesome. Like they gave Valstrax like some hard-hitting moves, and he's definitely one of the harder fights in Rise. I carded to him several times on stream, I think. Granted, I was super tired, but yeah, Crimson Glow Valstrax is just an awesome addition to the Rise roster. And that wraps up this tier list video. It's probably going to be like a fairly long video. My voice is getting worn out by now. But yeah, I think the roster for Monster Hunter Rise is pretty great so far, and I am looking forward to what we get in the future with updates or in the expansion and Master Rank, G Rank, whatever. Because this roster is fantastic, and I think all of the new monsters in Rise are really good. There isn't a true weak link in between them. I just enjoy some of them more. If you enjoyed this video, like it, dislike if you did not. Let me know in the comments how you would change my tier list or what you think of it. What are your favorite monsters and where would you put them? Whatever. I know some people definitely disagree, like on my Tigrex placement. It is what it is. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Take care.